Building for the future. The progress of mankind may be measured by the structures his brain has conceived and his hand has executed, from the thatched hut in the jungle to the lofty towers of Manhattan. The whole history of civilization is narrated in chapters of wood and stone. From the first, man has built for the future. The great cedar beams in Solomon's temple, the sandstone blocks of Cheops pyramids, the massive marble columns of the Pantheon were chosen because they were at the time the most lasting materials, and at the same time fulfilled the requirements of beauty that were known to the greatest architects of those periods. With the opening of the 100 years immediately behind us, dawned the era of revolutionizing scientific discovery and of the greatest products of the trained minds of scientific men. There is not one more wonderful or essential to life in the terms of today than the discovery of Portland cement, the living stone. Wood, brick, stone, iron, and steel hold their places in the world, and their necessity to mankind is unchallenged. But with the development of greater needs, their faults have become clearly recognized, and in 1,000 uses for which they alone were formerly employed, concrete is now conceded to be the only material that meets in every way the requirements of strength, appearance, durability, and ease of manipulation. Stone ranges from the poorest grades of soft and crumbly sandstone, hardly stone at all, to the granite that we used to believe was the most lasting building material in the world. Of the thousands of varieties of stone, very few are fit for building purposes. Such as is suitable is rarely found in the neighborhood, but must be transported at great cost according to the distance. Stone is a product of nature, formed by the tedious, irregular processes that permit of 1,000 faults and imperfections. To prepare it for its destined purpose, it must be quarried and laboriously chiseled into shape, and even then the most perfect pieces are marred by grain, cleavage, and countless imperfections. Compare with such a material the marble-like concrete, a man-created stone, created for the one definite purpose desired, a substance without grain or blemish, smooth and adaptable as water, shaping itself instantly to the forms that enclose it, curves or angles. This moment a liquid, the next adamant, then exactly what you want and where you want it. To compare concrete with other materials, such as brick, wood, iron, and steel, is obviously unnecessary, and so we may go directly to the discussion of concrete, without further reference to the materials it has replaced in the architectural and structural world. You have heard this age called the Age of Concrete. You realize how true is that descriptive phase. In Chicago, a number of buildings have been recently torn down that were erected shortly after the Great Fire in 1871. That was before the Age of Concrete, and the buildings erected in that day were little different in principle of construction from the buildings of ancient history. It was a case of broad, shallow foundations and thick lower walls to carry the weight of the upper stories. Height beyond a certain limit was impractical. It demanded too great a thickness of lower walls. With the age of concrete came the great changes in construction that its use permitted. Steel frames shot up, rooted to bedrock to the foundations of concrete. Concrete encased the steelwork. Concrete entered in 1,000 ways into every building, and the use of concrete permitted the use of other materials, impractical without it. Not only the modern buildings, but the entire modern city owes its present development to this living stone. The great sewers are built of it. The tracks of the street railways rest on it. It is the enduring part of every pavement, curb, and sidewalk are built of it. Out on the waterfront, docks and breakwaters are of concrete. Railroad bridges, viaducts, and elevations are carried by it. The concrete mixer has become so common a sight that you pass by it without a look. But 30 years ago, a crowd would have blocked the traffic to watch men making stone. What does the master intelligence of the world think of concrete? What do the greatest architects, engineers, and contractors think of it? Their reputation, their whole success is at stake. The universal adoption of concrete by them for all the greatest enterprises is their answer. The old dirt road, a swamp in springtime, a desert of dust in summer, a slough of ruts in winter, is rapidly passing into ancient history. Concrete roads, smooth, level, and permanent, are fast taking their place. Here is one of 100 instances illustrating the recognition by men who know of this foremost element in modern engineering construction. The clattering iron bridge is fast becoming a curiosity. Every modern community is giving expression to its pride and enterprise by building not only good roads, but good, satisfactory bridges. Here you find concrete entering not only into the foundations and abutments, but into the spans and arches. The great curves of concrete are not only beautiful, but they are flood-resisting, time-enduring, everlasting. Concrete may justly be called the living stone. It is eternal. Decay and all the normal processes of nature fail to affect it. When granite is split and crumbled, concrete is still as fresh as the day it was freed from the mold. There are certain kinds of stone that have great individual beauty, but in most cases this beauty, be it of vein or color, is so pronounced that the stone can only be used as a decorative feature of a building. The smooth, clean surface of concrete harmonizes everywhere. Restful to the eye, it never tires. It possesses no single quality that unfits it for use when the highest requirements for beauty are demanded. All other building material must be laboriously hewn, cut, or forged. Concrete alone follows with perfect freedom every line, curve, or angle. Obtainable anywhere in convenient form, it can be instantly transformed into a massive foundation or a delicate carving ornamenting a cornice. Its rules are so simple that the most ignorant laborer can mix it. Practically wherever you can buy a keg of nails or a sack of flour, you can get a sack of Portland cement. In every civilized country of the world, it is recognized as a commercial and economic necessity. But perhaps as wonderful as the great achievements that concrete has made possible are the humble uses that has made it a necessary factor in the life of everyone. The foundations of houses are today poured in a few hours. Sanitary stables and dairies with concrete stalls and floors have taken the place of germ-breeding, moisture-absorbing wood. On concrete floors, hogs find freedom from disease and increase in value. The fence posts of wood, you know the cost of cedar posts today, are giving way to posts of concrete. Watering troughs, stepping blocks, silos, barns, houses, tanks, reservoirs, conduits, and irrigation ditches are built of it. Fireproof, frostproof, age-proof, clean, beautiful, and in every way satisfactory. Concrete has become the building material of the 20th century. You will, of course, recognize the fact that in the foregoing paragraphs we have presupposed in every instance the use of a good cement. In every great industry there is always a range in the quality of the article manufactured, and this rule applies to Portland cement as to anything else. In quality, it must be the best. What is the best cement? Let the choice of architects and engineers who can take no chances with inferior brands direct your selection. Such men have specified and used Marquette Portland cement for the reason of its supreme quality, its acknowledged durability, and the ability of its manufacturer to render satisfactory service. On the following pages you will find photographic reproductions of the big building and concrete construction work in which Marquette Portland cement has been used. They speak for themselves. They have been built for the future. Whether it is the building of a skyscraper, residence, grain elevator, modern factory, concrete bridge, or concrete silo, whether it is the laying of a concrete road, street, alley, driveway, or sidewalk, your reputation as an architect, engineer, or contractor depends on how that work satisfies, how it will stand the test of time. You cannot afford to specify or use anything but the best. It may not be the lowest in price, but it will be the cheapest in the long run. It will help you establish a reputation as a man who knows and knows that he knows. What Marquette Portland cement has achieved in the Middle West is partially shown in the preceding pages. Much greater space would be required to show the many building projects in which Marquette Portland cement has been in use for the past 17 years. The men who planned and constructed these buildings, roads and bridges, well knew the advantage in specifying and using the best Portland cement. They also knew the full meaning of the green guarantee tag attached to every bag of Marquette Portland cement, certifying its superior quality. What these architects, engineers, and contractors have done for themselves, you can do, and Marquette Portland Cement will help you.